me, Bookish Dragons. It's Stephanie with Ravens and Blots, and today I have a book haul of February. Okay, so January I was kind of on this like book buying ban, and maybe I should have kept it going for February, because February I bought a lot of books, guys. I bought way more than what I ought to. Okay, let's just show you. Yeah, bought them all. Oh, that one fell. Sorry. So, yeah, and these are just ones from the ones in the store. I also went to a book fair today with one of my friends, and I bought like 16 books there. So, that all being said, I have a lot of books to show you. I was also, the reason I haven't been on here in the past 3 weeks is I actually was in the process of moving, so I was packing up all my lovely books and everything and basically deciding what was going to go where and how it was going. And the nice thing is that I finally have a shelf in my closet, which I never planned on having, but I have a shelf in my closet, so all the books that are on my black shelf are now in my closet, which you guys have never seen my black shelf, and that's okay. You'll see it sometime within the next week, because it is now my sole TBR shelf. So I only have books on there that need to be on my TBR, and I'm so excited because I've never actually had like a sole TBR shelf. It's always been intermingled. So that's really exciting for me. So that being said, let's go ahead and dive into my whole book haul. These are in no particular order. I'm actually doing some nonfiction ones first, and then I'll go into the fiction ones. But they're in no particular order because I don't remember what order I bought them in. I just bought books this month. A lot of books. You don't believe me? Just keep watching. Okay, so the first one I have is Keep a Quiet Heart by Elizabeth Elliot. This is a collection of her writings, like from her newsletters and from letters that she wrote and such. So it's really short. It's like 1 or 2 pages at the most for each chapter. So for me, it's really nice to read this like before bed or right after bed, and not like right after I get up in the morning. And so that one is quite good for that. The next one I got is Discerning the Voice of God by Priscilla Shirer. If you've never read a Priscilla Shirer book, I highly recommend this one. It talks about how to clear all the distractions so you can actually learn what the voice of God sounds like and how to listen to the voice of God. Strongly recommend it. The next one I got is Steadfast Love by Lauren Chandler. This basically goes through Psalms 107 and what lessons she learned during the hardest period of her life. So really good. I loved that book. I actually read that one, so I'm really excited. The next one is When I Don't Desire God by John Piper. This one is when the desire for God has really waned, but you still kind of want to be near God. So this one sounded interesting. I really do like John Piper's writing, even though it's kind of like deep. So I am kind of excited for that one. The next one I got is Starflight by Melissa Landers. This was actually our uppercase book of the month. I find it ironic, actually, that both Owlcrate and uppercase were basically magical realism dystopian this month. I mean, they both had like outer space themes, so that was kind of funny. So anyway, Starflight, it's about a felon who sells herself as a slave to go across the galaxy. I don't know much more about that. I do know that this was one I pre-ordered and then I had to return because this was an uppercase book. So, the next one I have, guys, I have The Gathering of Shadows by V. Schwab. I'm so excited. I went supersonic. I'm so sorry, but this is the sequel to A Darker Shade of Magic, and as you guys know, I read A Darker Shade of Magic in December. Absolutely loved it, so I couldn't wait for this one. So excited to have it. The only bad thing is if you take the dust jacket off, it's like all torn right under here, and I'm not going to take it off to show you because I have Gorilla Glue on it, but I was very disappointed, Barnes & Noble. Alright, next one is Black Hearts. I had a pause because I was thinking what I was going to say, by Nicole Castroman. Here's a little tip for any authors. One of the things I absolutely love is pirates. I love pirates. I love time travel. I love magical realism. Those three things will sell me every single time on books. And this one is about Blackbeard and who he was before he was Blackbeard. So pirates! I'm super excited and I can't wait. The next one I got is The Star of Me and You by Emery Lord. I follow her on Twitter. I've never read one of her books. I decided I needed to. This one, it's a very pretty cover. And from what I flipped through, it looks like the girl basically suffers a major tragedy and starts to put her life back together again by a plan. We all know how well plans go. But it looks very cute and very emotional, and I'm kind of in the mood for a contemporary right now, so I was like, oh, I'll pick you up. The next one was our Owl Crate book of the month, and that is The Love That Split the World by Emily Henry. And this is a Native American girl who's told that her love is going to die and she's the only one that can save him, but it comes at a price. So it sounds really interesting. I'm actually pretty excited to read it. So the next one, this was actually in our Owl Crate as well. So we got 2 books this month, and that was The Time Machine by H.G. Wells, which is really exciting because I've never actually read this book. I'm a huge sci-fi fan. I just have never read the book. And this one is The Winter's Crime by Mary Ratowski. This is the sequel to The Winter's Curse, also by Mary Ratowski. And it deals with Kestrel and Aaron, I believe is how you pronounce his name. And I haven't read this one yet, but I need to read the second one because the third one, The Winter's Kiss, comes out in March. And I'm super pumped for that. Like, so excited. The next one I have is The Girl from Everywhere by Heidi Helig. I believe is how you pronounce her last name. If I didn't pronounce your last name correctly, I'm so sorry. I'm really bad at pronouncing last names. But this has time travel and pirates in it, so I'm super excited. Yeah. The next one I have is The Winter's Curse by Mary Ratowski, which is actually the first one in the Winter's Curse trilogy, obviously. Next one I have is Percy Jackson's Greek Gods by Rick Riordan. I love Percy Jackson. Love him. He just has a snark that sometimes I wish more books had, actually. Alright, so moving on to the book fair ones. The first ones that I got at the book fair today, The Velveteen Rabbit by Margie Williams. This was one of my favorite kids books, and I know I had this edition sometime, but I don't know, with all the moves I've had, I cannot find it. So I was like, I'm gonna buy it. The next two that I bought is The Hardy Boys, The Tower Treasure, and Nancy Drew, The Secret of the Wooden Lady. My dad used to collect these. I used to read these all the time. And I actually have a crate out in the garage that's filled with Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys, and they're the originals. And I've just started wanting to kind of collect them, and these were $1. You can't pass that up. Plus, I love Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys. I think they're so much fun. All right. Then I have The Traveler, and this is by John 12 Hawks. I don't really know much about this book, honestly. It was the cover. It bought me. I was like, hey, you look cool. Apparently it is about a girl who tries to dupe the security cameras and become like off the grid. But whenever she starts to do that, random people are dying. So she has to figure out what's going on with these random people. So, sounds interesting. Kind of like a murder mystery. The next one is The Mold Murder by Kate Kingsbury. Basically, a hotel has a whole bunch of guests because it's almost Christmas time, and one of them drops down dead, and the owner doesn't have time for it. So, I love murder mystery books, so I'm kind of like, that sounds interesting. Why not? The next ones, I've actually heard a lot about this series, but it's always kind of been on the back of my mind, but I've never actually found them in the actual bookstores. And online, I always forget about them, but I found the first 4 books of the series there, and I figured, why not? If I actually like the series, I can continue. If I don't, I can always sell them back. So that would be the Mitford series with Jan Karen, and that would be At Home at Mitford, A Light in the Window, These High Green Hills, and Out to Canaan. And I've heard of this book series by Lauren Winner, who wrote Girl Meets God, and she really kind of almost raved about these series, so I was like, I should try them. The next one I have is The Hotel on Place de Vendôme by Tiller J. Mazzio. And this is Life, Death, and Betrayal at the Haut Ritz in Paris. This basically deals with the Paris hotel that housed a lot of the third rich Jews and German seekers, and also somebody like it's William Scott Fitzgerald, Hemingway, and that sort of thing. And so it sounded kind of interesting. I'm starting to get into World War II books and that time period, so that's kind of like an interesting foray into it. I'm not quite sure if it's a novel or if it's just based on truth. So it'll be interesting to read. I'll probably read it sometime this year. I have no idea. Next one is Digging to America by Ann Tyler. And this deals with two families who are adopting two girls on the same day from the same place. And they basically start a celebration each year of the adoption. And from what I understand about the back is that one of the wives actually loses her husband, but she's still invited to the family gatherings, and she really doesn't know how to deal with that. So it sounds interesting. I'm kind of liking Ann Taylor's writing. I'm reading Spool of Blue Thread right now, and she has a tendency to really look at the small details of life, and I kind of like that. The next one I got, I'll be honest, was completely a cover buy, but it sounds really interesting, and that is The Persian Pickle Club. This is set during the era of the Great Depression, and it basically revolves around a group of women that meet like every Thursday, and they gossip, and they talk about all the stuff that women talk about. And during one of the meetings, a big dark secret is revealed, and now they have to decide what to do about that secret. So that sounded really interesting. Again, I live near a store that will buy back books, so if I don't like any of these, I'm kind of just going to sell them back, basically. The next one I walk past this a lot in the bookstore, and I've always kind of hefted it and been like, maybe I should buy it, and I never have, and I saw it today, and it was only $1, and that would be The Pillars of Earth by Ken Follett. I heard nothing about this. I have no clue what it's about. But I do know that this is like over 900 pages. It's almost 974 pages long. So this is a tome of a book. It is huge. However, I've always kind of wanted to read it. So it's kind of like oh, now I have it on my bookshelf. I will actually pick this up now. And the last two that I bought at the book fair today, I'm really excited about. Basically, one of my favorite authors is Grace Livingston Hill, who is all of these books right up here. Her books are actually all out of print. And so basically, the main reason is because when she died, her daughter never signed the correct papers for the publication to continue past 1995. Because Grace Livingston Hill lived in the early 1800s to they didn't sign it past 100 years back then, so therefore she didn't sign them. So all her books are out of print. So whenever I find them, I get really excited and I buy them. And I found two that I didn't have, and that was Job's Niece and Partners. And basically, while I was looking at those, I saw also like 4 books of hers that I already own. And I convinced my friend that she needed to buy them because these were only like 25 cents each. And I can't beat that. I also have, this is the first time I've actually found some Grace Livingston Hills in the past 3 years. So I'm really excited about that. Okay. So that was my ginormous February book haul, guys. Oh my goodness. I bought like $30 this month. Now, granted, the ones for my book fair, I really only bought, I only spent $18 on those, but the rest of them, I really spent more than that. So, this next month, I think, with the exception of The Winter's Kiss, and I think The Tyranny of Petticoats, which is another pre-order that I have, I think I'm going to have to go back on that book buying ban because I really should not be buying this many books at all. So, anyway guys, if you liked this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up because I really do like that. Don't forget to hit subscribe right down there also because I will be making videos more regularly, I promise. like I said, this past month was just crazy for me, but I am going to get back on a schedule because I like doing videos on a schedule. Also, all my social media stuff is right down below, so feel free to follow me on Snapchat, Twitter, and Instagram because I'm on there like all the time. And if you have any questions or comments about any of the books that I put on my book haul today, please feel free to comment down below. Anyway, guys, I hope you have an amazing day, and keep reading, you awesome dragons, you